Good morning everyone, welcome back to Cast for Calm and welcome to the first of a series of, what can I say, bake making videos. And the first one today, I'm going to go through how I make my cheese paste. Now cheese paste for me is my go-to chub fishing bait. It is an incredible bait. It's caught me, my 3 biggest chub all came on cheese paste. There's 2 baits that I'll go to when I go chub fishing in the winter anyway. Summer's different, but in the winter, cheese paste, bread flake, 2 absolutely incredible baits. I use bread flake when the water's low and clear because you've got that visual aspect of a fluttering piece of bread, and when the water's up and high, coloured, flood water conditions, cheese paste, it's absolute killer. Because it absolutely stinks, or the recipe I'm about to show you certainly stinks, and it's absolutely deadly for chub. Chub love it. That's not to say you can't catch other fish on it. It's just as good used as a boilie wrap. Carp love it. Cyprinids basically, so your carp, your barbel, chub, bream, tench, they'll all readily take cheese paste. And actually I'm surprised it's not used more by carp anglers, to be honest, because it is cheap to make and it's absolutely deadly, and the longer you have it the stinkier and vile it gets. So yeah, it's easy to make. What else can I tell you about cheese paste? Yeah, as I say, you want it as stinky as possible, and what I tend to do is make up a batch, a couple of big balls. I put them in the Ziploc freeze bags, and then I put them in the freezer. When I use them, I take them out, I use it for the day, whatever's left, put it back in the bag, put it back in the freezer. That's how I do it. Some people will literally just leave it out and just let it go rotten, stink, which is not a bad idea, don't get me wrong, but honestly this stuff stinks so bad you're going to stink your house out or your shed or whatever. So, but I've always found that just putting it in the freezer and then taking it out the night before works perfectly for me. It's deadly on its own anyway. So yeah, without further ado, let me show you how we make it. Go through the ingredients first, shall we? So the first thing, short crust pastry. You can make it yourself, but I just find it easier to buy it frozen. Yeah, it's brilliant. 1 pack of them. Well, I think it's 1 sheet, isn't it? And then I've got the 400 grams of mature cheddar. Don't buy that weak stuff. Sort of, you want the strongest one you can get, really. And this is the white cheese, but you can, if you want the orange, you get, you know, you can make a more visual bait. Use the orange cheese, whatever it's called. Can't remember what's it called. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the first of 3 cheeses I'm going to put in. That is. Second cheese I'm going to use is Danish Blue, and this is the whatever, I don't know, yeah, 165 gram. It's actually I use Danish Blue. I couldn't get any. This is Aldi Stratford Blue. It's exactly the same thing. That's the second cheese. Third cheese, of course, it's got to be mature Stilton, because it's vile. It absolutely stinks, as you know, of feet. So it's perfect for what we need. I actually bought these cheeses about 2 weeks ago, and I've just left them out, because if they go off, it's even better for me. Also, quite often, if you look on the bargain aisle in your local shopping centre, they'll have it because it's out of date. Get that. Perfect. Oh, actually, there is one more cheese. It's this seriously cheddary. Again, you can buy this from Aldi or your local supermarket. Cream cheese, basically. So when I mix it up a bit, and I'll show you how to do that, obviously, sometimes the mixture can become a bit dry. What I'm looking for is like a putty I've got, you know, sort of a putty that I can mould around my hook nicely. And what I do to get the texture, I can either get a fork or the end of a knife and just pinch a bit onto the end of the knife and it sticks to it. Perfect. But if it is a bit dry, I'll put some of that in. It's brilliant. I used to use margarine, but when that come along, it's even better. It does exactly the same job and it's even more cheesy. So that's the main 3 cheeses. To that I'll also add garlic granules. Not many, probably a teaspoon to a batch, because what I don't want is the garlic overpowering the cheese. So you have to go careful with it, but all fish love garlic, so to get that hint of garlic amongst the cheese is absolutely deadly. A good twist of sea salt. Salt brings out flavour more, it will just intensify the flavours. It's brilliant stuff. And then there's one more ingredient that I'll use, and this is blue cheese extract. And when I say, oh, God, it's vile. It's exactly what it says on the tub. It's an extract, an intense extract of blue cheese, and it is vile. Again, it's just to add that even more that cheesiness to the mix. You don't need much. You need literally 2 or 3 little drops. That's all I put in. I've got the, when you order this, it comes with this little nozzle that you can put on just to control your dose. And trust me, you need to. This is easily available on Amazon, and I'll leave the link below. It's literally £3 or £4, and it's brilliant stuff. If you can buy blue cheese extract from a tackle shop. I think Dynamite Baits do it, various other baits do it, bait companies do it, but it's like a tenner, and it's exactly the same stuff, if not better. It's food grade as well. And I did lie, there is one more ingredient. That's some really cheapo, nasty breadcrumbs. You don't want anything expensive, you don't want to do your own, you just buy these. I think they were like 80p or something from Tesco's, and I use that if when I said earlier on, if the mix is a little bit dry, I'll add some of that blue cheese or margarine. If it's too wet, I can just add a few breadcrumbs just to dry the mix up a little bit. So without further ado, let's get cracking. And as with me, preparation is not my best. Forgot to clean dry the bowl. I've just washed the bowl. So what we need a big bowl. We need a knife and a teaspoon, and it always helps to have a bit of flour. That's just going to help us so things don't stick. So the first thing I'm going to do is push this lot out of the way. Just make sure you can see me. Let me move you back a bit and bend, pull this over. Ooh, you can't see me, but you can see this. That's the main thing. So the first thing I'm going to do, get rid of that lot. It's just, I think you can see me, can't you? Yeah. First thing we can do is grate some cheese. I like to just cut it up into. I've got that absolute stinks, you know, because I've had it for about 3 weeks. It's disgusting. Get yourself a cheese grater, and on the coarsest one, the main one that you normally use, grate all your cheese up. Should we fast forward a bit? You don't want to be here all day. So there we are, cheeso number 1. Get rid of that, put it in the bowl. that in the bowl. What I will say, if you do make this and you've got a wife or a partner, right, I would make sure that they're out when you do it. Or even better, make it in your shed. Because trust me, your wife's not going to be very happy coming into the smell of this stuff. So, next thing in, blue cheese. Oh God, that stinks. Oh God, it's all sweaty and horrible. Oh, it's disgusting, it stinks. So grate this in. Oh God, this is vile. I hate this stuff, it absolutely reeks. The little hard bit on the end, you don't want that. So, but I don't take it off at first, I always leave it on, so I've got something to grab hold of to try, and I mean try, and give me something to hold on to. But as you can see, it didn't really work. It's all gone all stinky and sweaty. So there's that one. Oh God. And already this absolutely reeks, especially the fact that the cheese is so old and everything. Pop that in the bowl. Disgusting it is. Next, Stilton. Now this stuff, I hate it, you know. I hate the smell of Stilton. So I might be sick when I do this one. This one's got the little, what I was saying, you know, the hard bit on the end. You don't want that. So I always cut that off. You gotta say, you can leave it on and use it as a handle, but so this is that sweat, I don't think it's going to make any difference to the way I stink, to be honest. Right, let's get that grated up. If you get any bigger bits, just break them up with your hands. It all crumbles anyway, it's terrible to try and grate. It sort of just falls apart like that. God, I hate this stuff. Get every bit of goodness out of that. And again, pop it in. Right, that's that for the grating. Let's get rid of that because it stinks. Give me a hand a very quick wash. Get rid of that and that and that out of the way. Maybe have a gathering of the extra bits of cheese that fell off. When I said make sure your wife or partner is out when you do this, well, I broke the cardinal sin because my wife sat in the other room, and I guarantee when she comes in a bit she goes, oh my God, what have you done, could you open the window? Yeah, disgusting. So there's our cheeses. Give them a quick mix. It's disgusting. Next thing we want is our pastry. Now, when it comes to the pastry, what you'll see a lot of YouTubers doing, or anglers doing, on the instruction videos, is they'll get this out dead carefully, and they'll put the cheese in a bit at a time, and then they'll sort of fold it over and do this, that and the other. Well, trust me, the easiest way to do it is just to get it, and just rip it up little bits, chuck it in. Yeah, it's a messy job this, but trust me, it's worth it in the end. Yeah, just chuck it in little bits like this, break it up. Sorry about the camera angle, by the way. I've got a cupboard in one going in here. See if we can chuck that right out there. See if we can lift you up a little bit. I haven't got a lot of room here. Yeah. So rip it up into bits. Chuck her in. Oh, look. Oh. Now, before I start kneading this up, I'm just going to get the flour ready, because this is going to get sticky and I don't want to be trying to open a bag of flour when I get to the stage I'm going to get in a minute. So let's pull you down now so you can see. I don't know whether I'll be able to get you to see in there. Can you see? Can you see it? Yeah, let's try that. I think we're alright, we're good at that. Yeah, it's time. So all I do is a bit of flour on my hands just to stop it sticking too much, and then just simply start kneading. Just mix it all together and just keep going and going. In a minute we'll add the other ingredients, but what I like to do is get the mixture started first. Just literally get your hands in, just as you'd knead bread, really, exactly the same. But what you want is always to be mixed thoroughly together, so you see at the minute it's quite coarse. You want it to get all smooth, and to do that you just got to keep working it. And in a minute I will take it out of this bowl and do it on the tray. Why it's like this. Right, so we've started the mixture now, we're starting to get there. So what I'm going to do now is add the other ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is the salt, just a good, I'll do 12 I don't know why I do 12, it's just a lucky number I guess. And then garlic granules. As I said, don't go over the top with this. I normally put in just a teaspoon. Chuck them in, and then the cheese extract. Oh, and it would help if I pierced the lid because this is a new one. Tell you what, let's just do it by eye. Just literally a couple of drops, that's all I'm after. 1, 2, 3. Should we go for 1 for luck? Yeah, why not? So that's 4 drops I've just put in. And that's it. And again, start kneading. It's nearly time to come out of here. Yeah. Right. Get rid of that for now. What I'm going to do, just put a little bit of a sprinkle of flour, just to help me, really. And then start kneading. Just exactly the same as you would with a loaf of bread. The key thing is, we want all the ingredients mixed thoroughly. Together. And you want a nice smooth texture. See, this is sort of sticking still, so a bit more flour. Bit more flour. And just as you would knead bread. Not that I know how to knead bread, but I've seen it on the telly. And I've seen my wife do it and my mum. My good old mum, bless her. And you can see how much it makes. It's a huge amount. And I reckon to make this lot, it's cost me, well, it's going to be probably about £10 I would think. But bear in mind, it's really the cheeses, because garlic granules, things like that, obviously you're only using a few, so you've probably got it knocking about in your cupboard, but if not, you've probably got granules for like 80p from Asda, and they'll last about 10 years if you're just using it for cheese paste. Same with the extracts, and obviously most people have got sea salt knocking about, so really it's the only thing you really have to buy. And bearing in mind this batch will last me the whole winter quite easily. We're getting there now. I'm getting there. But what I have found is just a little bit, it's a bit sticky. You see it's sticking to the board still. Let's just have a quick pinch. Yeah, so as you can see, it's quite a sticky mix. Like I say, I use a fork and will it stick? It's just a little bit on the damp side, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go mad, I'm just going to add a few of these cheap breadcrumbs. What I tend to do is just put a hole in the middle, put a few in the middle, and then just a sprinkling of them, and then give it another go. Just dries the mix up just a touch. Yeah, that's feeling a bit better now. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some of this cream cheese. And as I said earlier on, if you've got a dry mix, add it. But what I found to say is I do put it in anyway, because what it does, it gives you that silkier texture. I don't go mad with it, just like a good blob like that. But that'll give me sort of it makes it a bit silkier, if that's the right word. Of course, if it makes it a bit too wet again, you can just add more breadcrumbs. But I want all that flavour in there, I want everything I can get in there. You see, it's made that a bit more sticky now, but that's all right. Just add some more breadcrumbs. And it's just a case of just working it until you get it just right. And once you've got it right, it doesn't dry out or anything. Well, unless you leave it out in the sun, obviously, but then all it does really is go sweaty. Okay, we just got to knead all these breadcrumbs in now. It's not sticking to the board like it was now. See, it's just a clean board now, whereas before it was leaving residue. That means we're getting there. But I just want to make sure everything's kneaded in. And the more time you take with this now, the better quality of paste you're going to get. It's just, I can feel it as I'm going like that, I can feel it just slightly sticking to my hand, which is, it's not too far away. So let's just try a big, yeah, so put a bit on the end of the knife. Right, so this is basically a replica. So in fact what I'll do, hold on. Better on a fork, so use one of the prongs or a couple of the prongs, and I sort of put it on and give it. You see that's sticking. That's actually solid on there. And is it me? Does that look like an angry face? Maybe it's just me. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting there. I can feel it. It just needs a few more breadcrumbs. This does. It just needs a little bit of touch. I always feel if it's sticking to the board, even if it's only slightly, it's not quite there. And it's also not quite silky enough for me at the moment. But this is why I spend so much time with it. I don't just case of mixing it up. You could mix it up. There's a big chunk of cheddar there. Get that mixed in better. Last thing we want is big chunks in this, because it could mask your hook. So if you find any big bits, get rid of them or try and break them up. Like that there, like a big piece of cheese. Unless I can break that up, which I have, I'll put that back in. Just get rid of it. Just going to get a bowl and put it back in the bowl and put some more breadcrumbs in, because that's quite sticky still. And I want to make sure it gets mixed in properly. It's easy to mix in a bowl for me, but when you're actually doing the kneading part, it's definitely better. I'm going to put this rest of this blue cheese in because it just seems rude not to, really. Cream cheese even, not blue cheese. And I don't fancy using that the cream cheese on my crackers now, because it's been there for a month. Okay, see, that's very wet now, but it is so cheesy. As I say, it doesn't matter, that's what the breadcrumbs are for. Sometimes you'll get it straight away, you get that texture and you get everything you need out of it straight away. Other times you've got to spend a bit of time with it, which is fine. I'll get it perfect, because I know how good this stuff is as a bait. I think I might have overcooked it with the breadcrumbs, with the blue cheese. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now then, we're getting there now. Yes. Bit of flour on there. Should have been a baker, or maybe not. What you can do with this as well, obviously you can put in your food colourings. So if you wanted to make it bright yellow, you could perhaps put some yellow food colouring in it. If you wanted some red, people quite often put paprika in it, so it turns it red. But I don't bother, to be honest. I've always found it deadly enough on its own. It's a smell, it's not the visionary thing. If I want the visionary bait, or a visible bait, I use bread flake, which is again perfect. Now, that is looking perfect. As you can see, it's like a nice smooth texture. Roll up into balls, and you see it's not sticking to my hands, but it's got that stickiness to it. And then if I take a piece off, which is replicate what I'd use as a bait, I'll stick it on my fork and I'll just mould it on. And if I try and pull it, that's stuck on nice. So that is absolutely perfect. Need to do the smell test. Oh my god, it's so cheesy. This will draw chub in from 100 yards away, and it does. You don't need to put anything in with the bait. When it comes to, let me just lift you up again. When it comes to fishing with this paste, cheese paste, just lift you up a touch. Sorry. when it comes to fishing with this cheese paste, you don't need to put anything in with it. You see people breaking bits off and chucking a few bits into the swim. You can do that if that's what you want to do, but trust me, when it comes to winter chub fishing, as I've probably explained in the chub videos that you've probably already watched, or if not, why not watch it. I'll put the links below, or just have a search. Yeah, what I was saying, yeah, when it comes to chub fishing, alright, in the winter especially when it's cold, they'll quite happily feed in the worst conditions chub. But if chub are not feeding, they're not feeding. So I would never spend more than 15-20 minutes in a swim. If the chub hasn't taken a bait in 20 minutes, it's either not there or they're not feeding. So I'll move. So one bait like that, nice ball of cheese wrapped around your hook, size sort of 6-8 hook, okay, and put in the swim. They're going to smell that, and if they're feeding, they're going to have it. If not, move. So you don't need to be chucking bits of this in, especially if they're not really feeding. They might just sort of take your the one bait, you know, and if it's not yours, you're in trouble. There we go. I'm absolutely happy with that. So you can see how much that's made. Now, with all the will in the world, there's no way I'm going to be using all that. So what I'll do, I'll rip off a ball, say the size of a, I don't know, is that Satsuma size? Sort of size? Yeah. And I get a zippy bag. Oh, throwing it away now. Get a zippy bag, chuck it in there. Right, I'm going to leave the bag open for now, and I'll show you why in a minute. Again, bag all these bad boys up. So there we have it, all bagged up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bags, and with all the will in the world, that's going to last you, well, depending on how often you go, obviously, probably 2 seasons, 2 winters, easily. Now, I mentioned earlier I left the bags open, and the reason being is that I like to just put a tiny drop of this essence in the bag and then zip it. I don't know why I do that. I think it's just because it just gives me that even more potent cheesiness when I open the bag. Might not do anything extra, but I like to do it. You don't have to do it, but I do. Just coat all the inside of the bag, zip it up. Really is as simple as that. It's a fantastic bait, as I said earlier. Let's put the lid back on this before we knock it over. Easy to make. What's that took me? I could look at the camera, half an hour, something like that. Dead easy to make. Get out there, get it made, get some cheese paste, get it yourself out chubbing, and get out into the countryside, enjoy yourself, relax. Remember, it's the best medicine for this. So yeah, thanks for watching. I better get this place cleaned up, defumigated or fumigated before my wife comes in for her next cup of tea. I think I might have to make her once it doesn't come in. Catch you later. Keep watching. See you later.
Hey.
What?
Oh my Christ, what have you done in here?
Sorry.
I can't even see it. Stop it. That's vile.
Like I said, always make sure the wife's out when you do cheese paste. And the reaction tells me that we got that bait spot on.